Hey G fans, GoGFan93 here, and welcome to another figure review. In today's review, we are going to be talking about the NECA Godzilla 2014 12-inch figure. Guys, so here we have the NECA Godzilla 2014 12-inch head-to-toe figure, 24 inches from head-to-tail figure. This figure is just amazing. It's just wow. When I took this guy out of the package, if you guys saw my unboxing video, I was blown away with the quality that is on this figure. I'm just doing a spin around just so you guys can see all of him. But I mean, you guys can see how big he is from the tail. It's just like, oh my god, he is just freaking ginormous. So let's get on with the review. So first off, the sculpt and detail. The sculpt and detail on this figure is just phenomenal. It is to date the best looking Godzilla 2014 figure out there that you can get right now. Probably until the SH Monster Art figure comes out. But you know, I don't even know. This figure might even stack well against the SH Monster Art figure. So who knows? I mean, all right. I don't even really know where to begin. But you know, we'll just start with the head, I guess. So you guys can see the head. You guys can see that the detail in the mouth and the teeth. The teeth, they're not super detailed like an X Plus figure, but they are individual. They're not just like one whole solid wall that are just painted with teeth. Like, it's actually each tooth is there. You can see the tongue. I don't know if you guys can tell on here, but you can see the tongue. I mean, the freaking eyes are just super, like, this looks so great. The forehead just looks great, the head, and then the spikes that start, I mean, up here is just awesome. And then we move down to his neck and the gills. We get a clear look at the gills. If you guys can see, hopefully you guys will be able to see. Oh, there we go, I hit the button. But hopefully you guys can see the gills. But I mean, it's just I've never seen the gills so detailed on this figure before. You know, and for the people, like, this is something that's really cool because, you know, in the movie was pretty dark and we never really got to see a full good picture of Godzilla. I mean, I know towards the end of the film, you know, Godzilla was walking out towards the ocean and, you know, we got to get a good image of him, but this we get to like stare and we get to just admire all the details that went into the design of this Godzilla. So yeah, I mean, we just continue down with the spikes. Now, my spikes are a little bit bent. The dorsal plates are a little bit bent because of the packaging. That's a simple fix. All you gotta do is just a hair dryer, just get it all warm, and then probably put it under some cool water and have it freeze to where you want it to be. But for me personally, I don't really care because, I mean, you know, the spikes, the dorsal plates are one thing, but you know, I mean, I'll do that on my own time. But yeah, then we move down the back, and the detail on the back is just amazing. I mean, like all the little spikes, the crevices, the texture on this guy. I mean, and you can feel it. You can feel the texture. It's just amazing. His arms look fantastic. Once again, the scales that go down through, you know, his arm and then his forearm and then down into his hands, just amazing. The nails are just awesomely sculpted. Then his stomach is really detailed as well. You get to see those nice abs. He's not fat, he's just buff. Yeah, just like really awesome textures down there to his belly here. And onto his waist, it's just super detailed. The legs, once again, super detailed. I mean, it's, oh my god, it's just, I mean, once again, feeling it, you can just feel that texture. It's just really awesome. And then we move on to the tail, which is probably really, I mean, I just love the way the spikes just come out down here and just the way the tail can, I mean, also you can curve it, but we'll talk about that when we talk about the articulation. But I mean, it's just like, it's just so good. So good. So the sculpt and detail, in my opinion, is the best probably until SH Monster Art comes out. But I don't know, like I said, this figure might be able to stack up against it. So alright, next we're moving on to the paint job. So the paint job one, this is again probably maybe the best paint job. I would say there's a lot of blue tint. I don't know if you guys can tell with the lighting. but when I'm looking at him, there's a lot of blue tint compared to the NECA figure, the 6-inch NECA figure. You know, where a lot of people just got the same dark color. It was just, there wasn't really a lot of variation with him. This one, he does have a lot of blue highlights going on him. It's not just a flat black charcoal color like most Godzilla 2014 items are. So which I kind of like. It gives him a cool look. It just looks really nice. He looks dynamic. The color scheme is like, you know, really, it just pops out. You know, it makes the spikes pop out and just everything look really good. Now his one thing that I'm not happy about, because I don't think his nails were black, but and you guys probably can't tell because of the lighting, but his nails are black, and I don't think they were black in the movie. I don't know, can someone confirm that for me? I don't know, because the Bandai figure, you know, he had like a brown kind of thing, and I don't know, personally I think I like that a little bit better, I don't know. But his, you know, and also his toes, those are black, and then, you know, his tails, that, you know, it's the same kind of color scheme with the blue highlights, or sort of like a teal highlight maybe, and then with a dark charcoal color. So, oh, and the best though is in the face. The face has the best paint job ever. I mean, it's like the eyes, you can clearly see the eyes, the mouth is colored, the teeth are colored, his tongue is colored. It's just so awesome right there. So yeah, I would definitely 2 thumbs up on the paint job. So now let's do some scaling. So I'm going to size him up with some figures that I have. So first off, we're going to do an X Plus figure. So here's the Godzilla 2003 X Plus 30 centimeter figure, which he's also 12 inches. And he measures, it's just perfect. It's a perfect scale. I mean, it's like, you can literally put this guy with your X Plus figures. That's what I'm doing. I'm at least putting him on my X Plus with my X Plus figures. So yeah, just stacks up perfectly. Alright, now we're going to actually bring in his other NECA counterpart, the 6-inch NECA figure. So yeah, there we go. There is that comparison so that you can see how big this guy is compared to the 6-inch figure. So yeah, there you go there. And the last one that I want to bring out, it's not going to fit on the camera, but I just wanted to see, because I haven't actually done it neither. But this is the Jack specific one. Now all I'm showing is just his legs, but you know, he is half the size as the Jack specific one, which that is pretty big in my opinion for a normal small figure like this. The fact that he's half the size of the Jack specific. So I just wanted to bring him out just to compare that. Yeah. So now we'll move on to the articulation of the figure. So this is NECA, so they have more articulation than the Bandai figures. Also, you know, like I said, once again, until the SH Monster Arts come out, this is probably the best articulated figure that you can get on the market. So yeah, we'll just start. So his mouth, you can move his mouth. His head can move side to side, and it can move a little bit up and down. His neck area can also move from side to side. That can't move up and down, it just goes side to side. And then his arms, they can move. I'm getting a little bit of resistance on his right arm. It's kind of weird, but that still moves. And then his forearms, where his elbows are, those actually bend as well. So you can have his arms go straight out, or you can bend them up like that. So that's pretty cool. And then his wrists, you can turn where his hands are. Just a little bit though. I'm getting a lot of resistance with his wrists, so I wouldn't mess with them too much. They're probably on ball joints, so even if they pop off, you could probably still fix that. Alright, and then we got his torso. His torso can move like this, but I wouldn't move it too far because once again I'm getting a little bit of resistance. His legs can move. So you can do some stop motion stuff with him. His knees do bend as well. I'm getting more, see once again, I'm getting some resistance with this one. This is a little bit more loose, I don't know why. And his feet also, here, let's see, his feet should also be able to twist a little bit, but those are actually more stubborn, so I wouldn't really mess with them. Alright, and last, but certainly not least, is his tail. The tail is probably the selling point when it comes to articulation with this figure. I mean, we have so many points of articulation. So we start out here with the tail. The tail can move a little bit, but then we have this part where the ball joint connected with the tail when you first got in the package, and then you can just move it all the way down till about here, and right here is where it turns into just a wire, a bendable wire, but I'm not really going to bend it. So lots of articulation with the tail. So yeah, this figure, for its size, to have this much articulation is pretty cool, especially for the articulation fans out there. So yeah. Alright, so for my final thoughts on the figure, this is a magnificent figure. I highly recommend it. It is really worth it. I think you can get him at Toys R Us. He's like $50, I think. He's a little bit more pricey online, but you know, whatever. Do what you can to get this guy before his prices maybe start skyrocketing. Also, one thing is that he does have the sound mechanic, which is right here. You can just click it, and you can hear his roar. It's actually pretty loud, which is cool. But word of warning that when you do put the tail in, I didn't have any problems with putting the tail in, but I've heard a lot of people saying that when you put the tail in, if you go too hard with it, that it could actually destroy the sound box. So just be careful when you put the tail on. Yeah, and also, like I said, the spikes, they'll be a little bit bent when you first open the package, but you know, that's not a big issue. But one thing that I also want to touch upon with this figure is that when his legs have some pretty bad seams as well. I probably should have talked about this when I talked about the sculpt design, but his legs kind of have a pop-out issue. So like, as you can see right there, it doesn't look pretty because his leg is like popping out until you put it back right there. It's just kind of right there. So that's just, you know, I mean, they can't really fix that. That's just that's something to do with the, you know, trying to make them all articulated and stuff like that. So it's not that much of a big problem. Also, another thing that I noticed with this figure is that he's not perfectly centered. His torso is a little bit moved to the left. It's not completely centered on the rest on his waist. So I don't know if that's just my figure or if that's all of them. I don't know how that works, but you know, whatever. It doesn't bother me that much. I'm not too picky when it comes to the figures like that. So yeah, I'm just happy that I have this guy. So that is pretty much it. So that'll do it for my review of the NECA 2014 Godzilla 12-inch figure. Once again, it's 12 inches from the head to the toe, and then it's 24 inches from the tip of the nose to the tip of the tail. So yeah, that'll do it for my review. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay big, G fans.